Alright guys, so today we're actually bringing back the Matrix. I know it's been a while since I made a video on it, and that is just because, I don't know, it runs, it drives, and I do have a few little things that I need to fix, but first, let's upgrade it and add a dash cam, because it's not good to have a dash cam, especially how people drive today. So today we actually have a dash cam from FITCAMX, so let's open this up and take a look at it. Alright, so in the box, we pretty much have the dash cam, and then all the accessories that go with it. So I opted to get the front and back dash cam. So this comes with the rear camera here, and I believe, where's the front camera? And then the front camera right here. So obviously a lot of the FITCAMs are a direct plug and play, but they do make universal ones that look just like the OEM looking ones. So today we're going to be putting one of those in, because obviously the 2003 Matrix does not have any of the safety sense because of how old it is. So let's hop in the car and see what we need to do to get this thing wired up. So hopping into the Matrix, we, like I said, got all the cameras. So this thing should mount pretty much like between the rear view mirror, so that way it kind of gives it that OEM look. So, and it even kind of gives you channels to run the wires as well. So we are going to need to run some wires from here down to the fuse panel. So we're going to have to look at that, and then we'll have to run a wire all the way down to the back over there. All right, so let's start with something simple, which is getting the dash cam mounted. So these legs on here actually extend, so that way once you get it up on here, it'll go all the way up to the headliner. So let's get this mounted on there, so that way we can start running all the wires. For this to be a universal dash cam, this is actually going to look pretty OEM, if I can get the tape on. That actually went super easy. I was a little off center, but it honestly, from any angle, you're really never going to see it. So now we can kind of tuck these up under the headliner as we run all the wires. So let's get all the wiring done and get some wiring down to the footwell, and then also get some wiring all the way to the back over there. So we're going to just pull down some of the weather stripping and figure out what we need to do there. So just be careful not to break your clips, but there are clips. Both of mine actually broke, so just kind of be cautious. You do want to just kind of pull up on it, pull back I should say, and then you can get this off, so that way you can kind of see where we're going to want to run the wire down to the glove box. So I also did pull back some of the weather stripping, and the one with the plug right here we are going to send down, and then the other one we're going to send all the way across to the back. And they do provide this really nice trim tool. And I will say a coat hanger and some tape usually will go a long way. I'm trying to fish some of these wires. I just got the wire fished from behind there. It might help too if you kind of look under there so you can see where the coat hanger is going. So now that we got the front one done, it's going to have a connector, which is actually really nice. So connector that'll go here and pretty much connect you to your fuse tap. So no reason to splice anything. So, and then these, one's power and one's accessory, and then you will have to find a bolt to ground out to. So, but now that we got this, I'm just going to leave this be for now, and we're gonna work on the back camera. All right, but before I move any farther, I'm gonna get the wiring all tidied up behind here so I can put my trim piece back on. So I'm just gonna use some zip ties. I actually kind of like double looped it up here so that way I eliminated all the slack down here. And then I just kind of zip tied it all up along here so that way I don't have a bunch of wires dangling down there. So, but let me clip these and then we can throw this back on. And I did get some new clips that I had left over from another car, so hopefully those will snap in and then we are good to keep moving on. But so far I do have to say this camera like looks pretty OEM. I love that like you don't actually see any wires, you just see the strips going up and over it, so which is really nice. All right, all buttoned up. Let's go run this wire all the way to the back. I just ran the wire. I haven't fully tucked it up all the way yet in the headliner, and dang, this headliner is dirty. Just ignore that. But I kind of just pulled this back a little bit and then fished the end through right here and just kind of pulled it all the way. That'll be the only really big hurdle, and then going from here everything should be pretty easy. So let's keep on rolling. After a little finagling, I got everything looking pretty good, and you can't see any of the wires except for my dirty roof. So it actually looks pretty good, and I got it ran all the way up to over there. So we're gonna try to come up with a mounting solution, and hopefully it works, because I did it in my 4Runner. So because obviously, you know, the 4Runner has a hatch just like this car. So, and we're gonna use the same design concept that I did with the 4Runner on this car. So, all right, so we're in the trunk now. Ignore the mess. This has kind of been my storage unit. But, so now we got the backup, or not the backup camera, the reverse camera. So we're pretty much just gonna plug it in to where I had left this, and we're gonna come up with a mounting solution and we'll see if it works. All right, so we got the wire all tucked up and just the camera hanging, so got plenty of room to get that mounted, and we are not mounting it to the glass. So let's go get the part that I made, and then we'll make sure everything bolts up perfectly fine. The trick is going to be this 3D printed part that I had made, very similar to the 4Runner. So we're actually going to tap into the headliner clip, and that's what holds this up. So let's pull this headliner clip out. All right, so mine came out in a few pieces because of how old this car is, but we are going to try to swap it with a new one. So let's get our plate up there. So the clip that I was going to use actually had a little bit bigger diameter, so I'm going to probably get a black one of these. I hope that Toyota makes one, but I'm gonna get one of these. But for now, this should clip right up in there. Which, look at that. That thing fits perfect. And then the camera will mount right on top of that. Just got the camera installed, and this looks really good. So it is mounted off center just because of the light that is right here, as well as either I could have ran it here on this side or ran it here on this side. So, but I figured this would be the better location. So, but it's nice and snug. Let's make sure the door closes. And it does. You can also see too, the reason why we're not in the center is because that big tail light. So no modification, no drilling, no nothing like that to get a rear camera mounted up on a hatch. So this should work for pretty much every car as long as you have a headliner clip up there. So, but now all we got to do is work on the wiring. All right, so now that we got all the cameras ran, whether or not we got to move on to either. Some people may think this is the easy part, or some people may think this is the hard part. But anyways, we just got to find a fuse that turns on with accessories, so that way we don't drain our battery. We're gonna go under to the fuse panel and start just probing and finding a fuse to tap into, so that way we can find power. So I don't know if I need both of these fuses or not. One is the positive, and then one is the accessory, and then you will have a ground. So I don't necessarily see a ground that's obvious, but we'll search around, and I'd imagine we'll find a ground easily somewhere around here. So, but let's go digging, find out what fuse to tap into, and then we'll go from there. All right, so looking up at the dash cam, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is a light right there, and then as soon as I turn off the power, it goes off. So, all right, I'm gonna tidy this up and I will show you exactly where I tapped into. And it does look like there are micro fuses or mini fuses. I forget. So they call them low profile blade fuses. That's what I pulled out of the car, but you will not be able to replace it with one of those because it's not long enough. So you're gonna need to replace it with one of these, so that way you can reach past the fuses, because I originally wired it up with the other one and then I couldn't get it to press in. So, but now let me explain the wiring here, because the reason I'm doing it this way is to simplify it and I only have to find one fuse. So they supply you a harness with two fuses, one for power and one for accessory. I believe the one for power is going to be for constant, if you want this to be for like where it'll run even when the car's off. But I don't like that because I don't want it to drain my battery or anything. So I'm just combining the two together. Right now it's just rigged up with a wire nut. I'm going to put a crimp connector on there now that I know everything works, and then we're going to wire it back up. But hopping under, I'm not sure if it's going to be upside down or not on camera, but this fuse that's missing right behind the 25, I believe, right in the middle between a 25 and a 30, there was a 10 amp fuse. So the 10 amp fuse is what I'm putting in the fuse splitter right now, and then that works perfectly. So let's get all this buttoned up and then make sure everything else works and go over some of the features on that camera. Now that I got all this wired up, as well as, so the ground wire, I went behind this piece of plastic right here. I sanded some of the paint behind it just to make sure. So I just used like 220 grit sandpaper, sanded some of the paint so that way I knew I grounded it. And then I put a bolt through here and I put the wire behind it, and it's grounding out perfectly fine. So really good grounding spot right there. The cover will cover all this stuff up. So let's put this back in. So I'm not sure if you can see where I fuse tap, but it is right there. All right, so again, let's make sure everything is still working. Light is coming on. So we are good to go there. And with this being a FITCAM camera, we're gonna wanna download the FITCAMX camera. So once you have the FITCAM camera, it'll show obviously your pre-existing FITCAM cameras, but also we'll wanna add another one. So we'll wanna connect to the internet of the camera, which then I believe the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. No number 9. So it looks like it instantly connected to the camera, but it's saying memory card not detected. So the memory card is actually on the side. Oh, it actually wasn't pressed in all the way. Okay, so the memory card, it's like any other SD memory card. All right, so now again, so now it connected. Oh, I'm wondering why It looks so blurry. Don't forget to take off the sticker here. Oh, and now that looks a million times better. So I can't believe I left a sticker on there. And I believe I also left a sticker on the back one too. The back camera is upside down based on how I mounted it. We should be able to go to the camera settings and flip this 180 degrees. So I originally thought you could flip the camera, but I guess not. So we're gonna have to just manually flip it on our end. So I guess when you do mount it, just make sure. So let's go correct that right now. And then also let's get rid of this piece of film. Right there. And so it does say this way up. So you are going to want to do that. And since the way I mounted this, so I actually mounted this backwards, but it's not going to bother me too bad. But if you do use the same mount I did, just make sure. Alright, so definitely have to say, super low profile, and like you barely even notice it at all. So I almost think that the camera in the back is more of an eyesore than the one in the front, but overall it still looks really good. So let's just kind of go over some of the features. So again, this does not have a screen. It connects straight to your phone, so that way you can get video, everything off of it with your phone. So now that it loads, so now you can see both cameras. So these things look super good. I think my windows are actually dirtier than they should be. So, but you can see clearly the front and back camera. So, and on the camera, you can kind of swap back and forth to view either the front one more or the back one more. And you can kind of see that right there. So that way, but both of them are recording constantly in 1080p. I believe the front one is recording in 2K. It could be 4K. Don't quote me on that. I know some of them will do 4K only if there's no back camera. But then as soon as you add a back camera, I think it goes to 2K and then 1080p. But I will leave the link down below if you guys are interested, and that will have all the information for you. So, and then in the app too, you can take pictures. You can take video. You can make sure something records. You have some of the settings here. So it is actually recording in, I believe that's 4K. Let me know down below if that's not 4K, but I believe that is. But so you can do that. You can do sound recording on and off, so that way it can record you and the cabin. Video resolution, loop recording. I usually keep that set at 1 minute, but you can do it to 3 minutes as well. I'm not sure exactly what exposure compensation is. If it's too bright, you might want to adjust it. Keep the timestamp on. Driving collision sensor, you can keep that, medium sensitivity, so if you get in a wreck, it will sense that and then instantly save the data that it had stored. Parking mode sensor, if you did connect it to the hardwire, down below as a constant power, and then you just have some of the other Wi-Fi settings in here. So, but let's just go take a look at how good the video quality is, the video camera and everything like that. So after going on the test drive, everything looks like it's working good. The camera, it blends in super well from the outside. And then from the inside, it looks really good. So, and sometimes I wish I had a screen, other times I don't. As long as you can see the light, you know it's working. So, I have not had any issues with my other FITCAMs and my GR Corolla, which is right there. So that is also running a FITCAM camera, but that one's was a little plug and play because of the safety sense. But since obviously in 2003, they didn't have safety sense, so this is what we're going with. So I really like it, looks good, very compact, and it blends in and you see no wires at all. So, but if you guys are interested, I will put a link as well as a discount code to pick up your own. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.